Hey, this is MaryLou Hunter, Vice President of Success Solutions Incorporated and founder of Soulful Freedom Sanctuary. And if you want to learn the 6- and 7-figure businesses to success, significantly increase your revenue, and learn how to successfully build professional relationships, you should be listening to Sell Without Selling podcast with my good friend, Stacey O'Byrne.
If you're ready to get out of your own way to follow the 7-figure science of success, then welcome to Sell Without Selling. Tune in with renowned international speaker Stacey O'Byrne as she shows you how mastering relationships, achieving the proper mindset, and attaining the necessary motivation will catapult you away from failure and onto your journey to greatness. And now, here is your host, Stacey O'Byrne.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Sell Without Selling. I'm your host, Stacey O'Byrne, and I believe that learning the art and the science of how to sell without selling is the only way to achieve high 6- and 7-figure success. I'm really excited to get into today's episode. And really quick, if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, or sales professional and you haven't hit the level of success that you've wanted or needed, or if you're stuck and needing a pivot in your business and your success, or maybe you just want more and you understand the importance of having a coach to help identify the blind spots, increase accountability, and help with success strategies to take you, your business, your income, and your success to the next level. If this sounds like something for you, then head over to pivotpointadvantage.com/I want success. That's pivotpointadvantage.com/I want success. There's a quick application there that will lead to a personal phone call with me to see if we're a great fit for each other. All right, let's do this. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Sell Without Selling. I'm your host, Stacey O'Byrne, and today I'm speaking with a really good friend of mine, MaryLou Hunter. MaryLou Hunter completed her doctorate in holistic life coaching. She has a holistic health degree among several certifications in nutrition, life coaching, aromatherapy, hypnotherapy, and neurolinguistics programming. She is a shamanic Reiki master teacher, a shamanic counselor. She is also a certified instructor by Deepak Chopra for primordial sound meditation. She studied psychology at Cal State University, Long Beach, and spiritual coaching at a local theological institute. She's an ordained minister, a published author of the book Soulful Freedom, and she's created many programs to help inspire entrepreneurs, sales professionals, and business owners how to live life at their highest vibration. She has a belief that if you're not well, you can't sell. I'm really excited for you to hear today's conversation. This is going to be an amazing conversation today with MaryLou. Okay, MaryLou, thanks so much for joining us today. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's an honor to be here. Thank you for the invite.
No, so what a lot of our listeners don't know is you're really my secret weapon. You're not only everything that I just listed in your bio, you're also my partner in business and life and crime. And for me, you're also my secret weapon because you keep me healthy. So what do you mean by if you're not well, you can't sell?
Well, good question, because, in the entrepreneur life, being a holistic life coach, most entrepreneurs seek business coaching. And what they realize is underneath the business coaching, if you're not well, you can't have the fuel that you need in your life, in your emotions, and your body to sustain all of the goal set, the mindset that you need to accomplish. So that's a foundation right there in itself.
Wow, that's phenomenal. So I'm curious, coming from the holistic world, coming from just the realm that you come from, what does success mean to you?
A good question. I hear this all of the time, and when I'm around most entrepreneurs, they say that success is wealth, right?
Mm.
And for me, success is the key ingredients, is the attributes that I need to create that wealth. So peace, happiness, tranquility, harmony in my life, being able to get to that point of silence, so that in that silence I can be unstoppable. I have the purest potential. So having that love, agapeness coming from my heart and being able to ignite that out is the foundation of success. You know, it's kind of like having a pie, right? That pie, you have to have that foundation in that crust. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a pie or a pizza or any of something of that nature. So my foundation, I know, right? Spirituality and pizza.
Well, I was laughing because of holistic nutrition, because I
I
know
know.
you're a holistic nutritionist, and you're talking about pie and you're talking about pizza, and I'm like, okay, wait.
You know, there is a yin and yang and everything, and I am a country girl. So underneath all of that, you know, a good old fashioned piece of pie is an okay thing. But you know, that foundation, you know, everyone wants to go out there and make it and have that success, and they want that dream, they want that income, they want to be able to open up their bank account and see all of that money. But what happens is they don't clean up their inner self first, and they keep looping in all of these habits that they're forming, and they don't realize that some of the toxic emotions that they have are sabotaging them. So this is what I mean. When you're not well, you can't sell. You want to make sure that your insides, your emotions, your spiritual life, your foundation, everything that you believe on, all of that encompassing is good and strong and healthy. So then you can go out and have all of those tools to be able to accomplish your goals. So to me, that's the foundation of success.
I love that. You know, one of the things that you taught me early on when I met you, and I'd really love for you to share this with our listeners, is I came up with an acronym, and early on you taught me that there were three important ingredients to being the best being you can be, whether it's in business or in sales or as a parent or as a spouse or just as a human in general. And that was, and I just remember always thinking to myself to be a cat. And what I mean by that is the acronym CAT, and that's be congruent, authentic, and transparent.
Absolutely.
So share with me why those ingredients are so foundational and fundamental in life, in business, for success.
Yes, it is very true. Being a cat, not only being a cat, but that's actually my favorite animal. Um, but you know, being congruent is really a key to health. It's one of the biggest things, because you can go through life and you can fake it until you make it. But if you're not open in your heart and you're not on page with what your beliefs are and your values are and everything that you are, things can happen. So for me, being congruent was, you know, I lived a whole life of what I was told to. You know, we were born in an adopted value system. We're born in an adopted way of thinking because we're told by our parents, we're told by our community, we're told by our teachers how to live, how to believe. And at some point in life, you either come to your own and take some of that with you and develop your own, or you just keep believing what you're told. And for me, I kept believing what I was told, which made me sick because I wasn't congruent with what I was told growing up. I wasn't congruent with my religious aspects. I wasn't congruent with my personal aspects. I wasn't congruent with my lifestyle aspects. And having all of that encompassing, I got sick, and the doctors told me that I needed to live a stress-free life and be on antidepressants for the rest of my life. Well, go figure, that didn't work for me being a holistic health practitioner. So I sought out holistic health, I sought out, well, what's really the conflict? And the conflict was a conflict within my inner self. And this is why it's so important. You know, if you're struggling in business, if you're struggling with goals, and if you're struggling with accomplishing the bank account that you want to accomplish, if you're not congruent with who you are as a person, who you believe in your faith, and all of the rules encompassing that you grew up with, if you're not confident and congruent with those, then this is where the first sabotage starts. You want to make sure that you are congruent, you know, with that. And that's, you know, that's what I say about congruency. So
what about authenticity?
Awesome. Authenticity. You know, it kind of goes with being congruent. You know, if you're not authentic in what you're doing, you know, you can kind of do a check. You write all of these goals down, and you keep fighting against them. There's always a struggle, and you wonder why you can't keep working on those goals. And it's because you didn't surrender to the goals. So then you can ask yourself the question, is it really something you want? Because we say we think that we want a goal, and we are conscious, and we are aware of this conscious, yes, I want a goal. I want to be, you know, I want to be this successful entrepreneur. And this is another thing with me, you know, that I had to be completely authentic about. I wanted, you know, I'm surrounded by entrepreneurs, and so I'm thinking, well, this is it. I've got to be this dynamic businesswoman that goes out and works, you know, 9 to 5, and goes out and makes $1 million. And for me, that wasn't the way I defined success. So being authentic with what you are doing is very important, because if you're not, then you can keep wondering why you're not happy, why you're not successful in what you are trying to do, because you're not authentic with it. And being on board with what you want is really important, because if you're not on board with what you want, then you're going to just keep going into this vicious loop, and you're going to keep doing this self-judgment. You're going to keep doing this looking and comparing yourselves to others. Why don't I have this? Why don't I have that? And that's where being authentic means.
Nice. And what about the last part of being a cat, and that's transparency?
Transparency is a good one. Transparency is about, for me, and what I teach my clients, is to let go of their ego, and just be okay to be perfect in you, and being perfect in you does not mean perfection, and that's the biggest key. So transparency is saying, you know, I tried this and something's happening, and it's not working, and I need help. I need to refigure out things. I need to be human in that I don't know what I don't know. And sometimes if I don't know what I don't know, it's okay to go and get that and go help with that. You know, look, we're all human, and there's no different between the air that I breathe and the air that you breathe. And so when I see myself not being transparent and not being fully who I am, then I become fake. And when I become fake, I don't attract. And when I don't attract, then there's this whole feeling of unworthiness, and it all stems down to just be you. And it's okay. You are perfect just the way you are. And when you create all of these ingredients, you know, when you create this you know, this CAT acronym, you're going to grow on the ladder. And I always say, don't look at somebody else's ladder. They might be higher on the ladder. They might be lower on the ladder. Look at your own ladder. And if you've made one step in your ladder in one day, or one step in 1 week, or one step in 1 month, then you are progressing in your life, and you are learning to be, you know, courageous and authentic and transparent and congruent with everything that you do.
So that's phenomenal. You've touched on 2 points that I'd like to go back to for a second and really reiterate and expound on. And that's fake. You know, sometimes people especially in business. You know, I deal with a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, and sales professionals. And in sales, and business and entrepreneurism, when people are out there networking, they're constantly showing up like they think people want them to be, like they think people need to see them. And reality is, it's a lot like dating.
Hmm.
If you show up other than who you are, eventually the real you is going to get exposed. Eventually the real you will come out. And when the real you comes out, you've invested or spent all this time getting to know someone, and then all of a sudden, there you are. And they're like, who are you? And you turn around and say, oh, I finally feel comfortable. I can show you the real me. And then they're like, I don't like the real you. I want the person I met. I want the person I built a relationship with. Who is this? Right?
Right.
So as far as that transparency goes, do you, be you, because people are going to connect with you if you show them the real you.
Absolutely.
I tell people all the time, I refuse to grow up. I am a kid at heart, and I let people see that kid,
Hmm.
because the people who are going to connect with me are going to connect with me. The people who aren't, and I'm okay with that,
Hmm.
because there will be your person out there who deliver the product, service, and solution that you need for your need, want, and desire, that you will connect with. For
Absolutely.
me, I'm going to be as transparent as I can be, wearing zero masks, being zero fake, so that what you see is the true, congruent, authentic, transparent me, because that is who I am. That's the being that I am.
Absolutely. And it's so essential to be that and to be okay being that. I was told all my life, I remember, as a little girl, I would pick up rocks and feel the energy of them, and I would talk to the trees and hug the trees, and I was this little unicorn girl, if you will. And I always was teased by and I know that a lot of you will think this is cute, and if you have siblings, that this happens. I was told by all my siblings growing up that mom must have had an affair with the Kellogg's man because I was a Fruit Loop. And so I kind of didn't like that. And through so many years of my life, I was embarrassed with who I was, because I took on a label that wasn't really congruent with me. I took on a limiting belief, that, oh my God, I'm just this weird person and I'm this Fruit Loop. So why would anybody want to talk with me? And when I became transparent with who that is and says, you know what? Yeah, I hear your map of reality, and that was the words that you would describe me. And you know what? Yeah, I am a Fruit Loop. I'm out there and I'm on different planes, and I'm on, different universes. And when you are transparent enough and congruent enough to say, yes, this is me. I love who I am in my skin. I love who I am in my skin. This is where your potential begins. This is where the magic happens. And this is where the abundance starts to come in. And when I say abundance, I mean abundance how you define it, whether it's money or prosperity or happiness or love, compassion. Abundance is there, and that's where it starts.
I love that. I absolutely love that. So the second thing that you brought up that I really want to go back, reflect on, and expound on is climbing the ladder, and never comparing yourself to someone else's ladder, or never comparing yourself to someone else's climb. I learned a long time ago that when we compare ourselves to another person's performance, we actually do ourselves the biggest injustice, because it holds us back. The only person that we should ever compare ourselves to is the person that we were yesterday and the person we want to be tomorrow. Because the person we want to be yesterday will show us the journey and where we've gone to date. The person that we want to be tomorrow is the person that we get to reach for to be our very best and show up in a state of excellence to get there.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
So, MaryLou, what inspires you?
Hmm. Oh my goodness. Do we have another 10 hours?
Go for it.
you know, um, there's so many things that inspire me. I think that, if I go on a superficial level, people around me inspire me. I look at my siblings. I look at my kids. I look at my grandson. I look at the entrepreneurs around me. I look at you. I look at where my parents have been and where they're going, and elders in my life, and seeing, their truths and their life inspires me, because some are good, some are bad, and some are just their experiences, and people's experiences inspire me, because with every experience there's every kind of situation, and in that I can grab hope, I can grab faith, I can grab something that I would need to get up on my ladder and make another step. So
However,
that's
MaryLou, I know you to not be superficial.
absolutely.
So, so why don't you
I'm
share?
going from superficial to
Okay, there
internal.
you go.
So internally, what inspires me is my soul, my spirit. It is a part of me that is so vivacious. It's so zealous. And it's that drive in my heart. And it's that drive that, you can be in a controlled environment. Wherever you are, you can be in a controlled environment, but what somebody can't control is how you think of yourself, how you believe, what's going on inside you. And when I know that I have control of me, and I have control over everything that I do, right or wrong, responsibility lies on me on everything. And that is an inspiration, because in my learnings and in my spirit, I can choose to learn the lessons in my life situations, which help me become closer to my divine, which helps me become closer to my source. And in that closeness is where I find everything that I need to sustain myself in this lifetime.
That's phenomenal. That's absolutely phenomenal. So I'm curious, we meet a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, and sales professionals. Why do you think some fail in their journey to achieving success?
Well, this is a mind read, and I would, I'd want to ask them, for what purpose did you choose not to have yourself worthy enough to live your life the way you want to? It stems to so many different things, and the whole CAT is the CAT acronym is a huge factor in that. From day one, from the time we come out of our mother's womb, we're taught to judge. We're taught about separation. We're taught about either love or hate, or whatever it is that we're taught about. And so in that, people go into their own belief system, and in that belief system can either make or break their goals and their achievements. And so I always say, what if I'm this dreamer? What if we were all taught at a young age that there is no separation? And I'm talking even separation from, even on a religious aspect. We're told, that God is angry, and there's judgment. And what if we were just told that we are all love, and we are all light, and we are all this amazing, radiant being that has pure potential? What if we were all told that? What would our society look like? What would generations look like? What would our individual potential and wealth look like when we were told from day one that we are this beautiful, radiant light, and all of our lights are beautiful and radiant and the same?
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it's about the beginning. You when you come out and you're faced with all of these truths that people think that they have, and for me it's it's redefining all of that and making it to where you can change. You can change what you came up with. You can change what was given to you. If it's not congruent with you, if it's not authentic with you, if it's not helping you to be this transparent person, you can change what you were taught. And so I think that if people had that information, and if they knew that they are radiant love and light, then they have a better chance of succeeding. You know, we all have to clean out our insides. We all have to change the way we think and reprogram the way we think. And in that, we can have our pure potential.
So how does, and this was a huge lesson for me, and I don't want to share my lesson because I want them to hear it from you and take their own learning from it. How does the mind body spirit connection contribute to an entrepreneur's daily journey towards success?
So, you know, entrepreneurs are so goal and task oriented, and you know, they think, oh, I've got to go get a coach. I've got to do my task. I've got to do my networking. I've got to do my cold calling. I've got to do all of this stuff. And you know, that is just one aspect. And what they really are missing out on is the meditation part, the mind part, the spirit, connecting with the spirit, you know, part. And in that, they have all of the resources. They're only tapping in to, if we're talking about mind, body, and spirit, they're only tapping into a third of that, right? They're only tapping into a part of that success. And so when we want to live a mind, body, spirit life as an entrepreneur, it's more than just saying, I believe I want to be holistic, or I believe I want to be whole, or I believe in this. It's surrendering to it. So if you believe in it, are you going to surrender to it? And if you surrender to it, what's in your calendar, right? I know you have cold calling in here. I know you have networking in here, but do you have prayer time in here? Do you have meditation time in here? Do you have time in here to be giving, to give back? And all of those are encompassing in a mind, body, spirit lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. And so if you're going to bring in one aspect, you want to make sure that there's a balance, and there's a yin and there's a yang, so that when you have that foundation of mind, body, and spirit, you have the potential that you need to do what you have to do. And look, you know, we're not all equipped with 100% of everything. So if you need something, it's okay to go out there and grab it and say, hey, I need help. Help me be a better person. Help me be or figure out something in my life, because we are all connected, and I'm not on a one lane with just me, myself, and I. There are other people out there that can help me and love me and be in my growth on my ladder. And so being interconnected, having that community around you, and having that support of love, and that support of help, it's really important, so that you don't have to do everything on your own.
That's phenomenal. You actually said two things I want to grab and pull back. So meditation, you know me, I'm a very hardcore type A personality. Meditation was probably the most difficult thing for me to grasp, and the most valuable thing for me to implement. It really gave me a grounding. It gave me a sense of being. It gave me the ability to seek, find, tap into, and
Mhm.
exist within inner peace.
Yes.
Now there are a multitude of ways out there to meditate, and I've tried a lot of them. One of the ones that you taught me was primordial sound meditation. And it was probably the one that hit me the deepest. And I know that you're a certified instructor. So, we don't know if our listeners are driving or anything like that. So I don't want you to go into the actual primordial sound meditation, but maybe you can share with us what it is and the difference between meditation and primordial sound meditation, because there are entrepreneurs out there. I meet a lot of them on a continual basis that don't meditate or don't know how to meditate or really can't find that quiet space in their head. So can you go into that? Because for me, it was the difference that made the difference for me.
Absolutely. And, I think that our society does a disadvantage when they say meditation, because it's just like putting, 3 or 4 to 5 or 6 or 10 different nuts in a bowl and say, here are some nuts, but you've got all of these different nuts, right? A nut is a nut. So that's where this meditation thing comes from. And there are guided meditations to where a facilitator will speak to you, and there are other types of meditations where there's awareness meditation, mindset meditation, and a lot of these meditations are geared to where thoughts are coming into your head, and these thoughts that are coming into your head, you're still focusing on a conscious thought. And so that is what some of these meditations do. And so what primordial sound meditation is about is, yes, we know that we have 90,000 thoughts coming in our mind, but what if we could just for a second put those thoughts aside and concentrate on silence, just silence, where there are no thoughts. And when I say that there are no thoughts, it's impossible when I say that there are no thoughts, because we can't not get rid of our thoughts. And that's not the goal. But the goal is when we practice into that silence, right? When we learn that we can practice into that, there becomes a gap. And so we have a thought here for 1 second, and then we have a little bit of a gap, and then another thought. And in between that gap is really pure potential. That is connecting with a divine conscious source that is going to bring you up on your ladder. That is going to be the divine source that fuels you in everything that you need so that you can go out there and continue to be that entrepreneur. So it is a practice. It is a lifestyle. And with primordial sound meditation, you're given a mantra not to concentrate on as a thought. And the mantra doesn't mean anything, but you're given a mantra. Well, it does mean something, but you're giving this mantra from the time and date and place that you were born. And that is a magnificent vibration. And so for you to be able to use that vibration to get you closer in that gap to where you could have that quiet space, it's so profound, and it's something that if you don't experience, you just can't explain it. It's not a guided meditation. It's not something that you can get off of your phone for free and download an app. It's a practice that fuels you with the best fuel that you have, that's sustainable, so that you could go out and do that you do. And it is essential for me. It's just as essential to do my primordial sound meditation as it is to have a glass of water, and to have fuel, to eat, my vegetables, and to eat, the things that make me nourished as far as my body. So, food and water is my physical source of fuel, because you're getting the vitamins and you're getting the minerals and the things that you need to sustain your body in this lifetime. And the meditation is fuel for my mind and my spirit, because in that I am giving myself the necessary quietness, the necessary stillness that I need to conquer my day. Look, I know entrepreneurs that are out there, and from the time they wake up till the time they go to bed, they are go, 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 go. They don't know how to shut it off. And allowing yourself to learn a meditation such as primordial sound meditation gives you that fuel. And when you've got that spirit fuel behind the physical fuel, you are unstoppable.
So one of the things you had shared with me about primordial sound meditation was each person ends up with their own sound, their own mantra. And this is depending on the date, the day, the year, and the time you were born, is what is indicative to how the planets in the universe were aligned.
Absolutely.
And when they were aligned, the universe made a very specific sound at that moment. And that one sound is what gets assigned to you as part of your mantra.
Right.
Now, what happens is your neurology, your cellular level is so native to that sound that when you repeat it, mantra it, chant it, it wakes you up at the deepest spiritual, the deepest, innermost neurological and cellular level, that it opens up your ability to be one and allow all in. Is that accurate?
Absolutely. And there's so much more to that. And that's why, there's so much more to learning about primordial sound meditation. And so I would need, at least 6 hours to explain it all to you.
Absolutely.
But yes, in a nutshell, that is an element of that. And the more we practice primordial sound, the more we are congruent with ourselves, the more we are aware and transparent, and the more we are authentic with who we are, because we're allowing ourselves to have that spirit foundation, that mindset foundation. So it's about mind, body, and spirit. And in that, we're creating a sacred temple. And in that sacred temple is prosperity, because that's what we're divined for. We're designed to have our wants, needs, and desires met. We're designed to be happy. We're supposed to be happy. We're supposed to be, thriving. We're not supposed to survive. We were put on this earth to thrive. And in primordial sound gives you that fuel to be able to do that.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. So I'm sure our listeners, there are some listeners that are probably intrigued or curious or want to know more about primordial sound. And when we get to the end of this episode, I'll make sure that you share with them how to connect with you. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
So the other thing that I wanted to go back and grab that you said was you brought up energy, and this was another foundational element that you shared with me, gave to me, taught me, that was another difference that made the difference. And that was every being that we connected with. It doesn't matter what we say. It doesn't matter what we do. It doesn't matter what they say or what they do. There is an energetic exchange that happens between you and the person, whether it's face-to-face or in today's environment virtually. There's an exchange of energy that is being communicated, and either that connection happens to where it's vibrant and it's magic and it's electric, or there's this thing that happens where something's not right and you don't know why. Can you explain to our listeners how energy impacts their ability to achieve success and or not?
Absolutely. Oh, this is another really long rabbit hole that I could get
I
into.
know.
But I'm going to try to keep it as easy as possible. Look, you know, energy is like, the energy is whatever you put out, whatever your thoughts are, whatever your beliefs are, whatever you are in, whether you are happy or whether you are sad or whether you are depressed or whether you are negative or whether you are judgmental, whatever energetic vibration you are living in. And we all have variations of that because we're human. We all go through different vibrations of that energy. But when you attach that emotion, that attribute to it, it's a spherical law. So when you put that out, right, it's spherical. So what goes out is going to come back, which is also, the law. The law of karma. So it's an energetic law that everything that comes out of your mouth comes out from within your heart is going to come back to you. So when there's connections, you want to be aware of that. When you're in a path where things aren't going your way, a lot of people go, well, the universe doesn't like me, or I must be being punished by God, or whatever, right? We come with so many different excuses and justifications. But when we look in our own self and in our own vibration with what we're putting out there, then we'll get to the root of our energetic being and say, wow, I am being really, really judgmental. And I know that I'm projecting that and it's also coming back on me, or, I am being negative and I'm projecting that and it's coming back on me. If you're aware of that, that is the basic energy 101, that everything that you put out is going to come back. And we are all light beings and we are all interconnected. They're even statistically proving this with science, that on a cellular level, they're noticing that even on a cellular level that it's radiant lights, and on a cellular level they're interconnecting with our organs and with our systems in our body, and in that everything arises and comes out and comes back, and this is, I know, might be confusing to some of you because I'm not, going into detail, but the bottom line is where you are here in your mind and your body and the way you think is energetic. So when you want to shift something in your life, when you want to shift the people you're around, and when you want to shift whether you're making it or not making it, look at what you're thinking on a daily basis. Look at what you're putting out there, because 9 times out of 10 is what you're putting out there is coming back. And so that is my story, and I'm sticking to it.
So one of the things that's probably metaphorically relevant to me when it comes to energy, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners have seen this video study that was done at a school, was that they put 2 plants in a classroom. And those 2 plants, the students every day had to come in and talk love and nice to one of the plants. And then the other plant, they either ignored and didn't talk to, or they talked to very negatively.
Absolutely.
Both plants got the same amount of water, the same amount of sun, the same amount of nutrients. The only difference was the communication, the exchange of energy that the plants received. And the plant that was loved and spoke to kindly flourished. And the plant that was barked at and ignored and said negative, mean things to withered away and died.
Absolutely.
So I think that's indicative to the conversations that we have with ourselves. That mind chatter, the itty bitty shitty committee, how we talk to other people or about other people, because our unconscious mind takes everything personally. So I think the thoughts that we have, the conversations that we have, either flourish our environment or wilt our environment. And I think that is probably the easiest way for me, who isn't educated in energy, to explain it and understand it.
Absolutely. And this is so true. And it's about nurturing yourself and realizing, how you're nurturing yourself. So many people have all of these thoughts, on a continual basis, and they're not even aware of the thoughts that they have. So,
Mm.
do a mind check. For me, I like to, set my alarm, every couple of hours and make sure that I'm in the habit of being in high vibration, being in a place where I'm always practicing compassion. I'm always practicing love. I'm always practicing forgiveness. I'm always practicing giving and gratitude. And these are all foundations of nurturing, who you are, nurturing your life, nurturing your business, nurturing those around you. And when this all ignites, you're watering your garden,
Yeah.
and that means your garden is going to be beautiful. And
Yeah.
that's metaphorically speaking, but it makes sense to me.
That's phenomenal. So I'm really curious, MaryLou, what does or how does gratitude and appreciation play a part in the entrepreneurial journey towards success?
Hmm. That's a great question. A lot of people think that gratitude is just a single level dimension, and I actually add two other components to gratitude. And so gratitude is, yes, being grateful for what you have in your life. And if you can't give a list right now of 100 plus things that you're grateful for, then you need to work on your gratitude. And so being grateful for everything, that you have and everything that you are and all of the tools that you have, and so on and so on and so on. We know that part of gratitude everybody gets. But there are two other components to gratitude that people forget about. And those other two are blessings and praise. So when we have gratitude, this is, yes, I'm receiving, thank you, I'm receiving, and I'm grateful for what I'm getting in my life. But there's a blessing part that makes gratitude really, really good. And when you're blessing somebody, when you're wanting goodness to happen to somebody, and you're blessing somebody, blessing them in prosperity, blessing them in love, blessing them in kindness, right? And when you think of those things, those are blessings. That adds to the component of gratitude, and it makes it more magnified. But wait, what if you put praise in? How many
Mm.
times have you praised your business? How many times have you praised your body? How many times have you looked at your body and said, I think that you're so beautiful, I praise you? How many times have you looked at your clients that are giving you referrals and praising them for what they're doing for you? And so gratitude is a three component. Yes, I'm grateful for the things I'm receiving, but I also know that I need to continue to bless and I need to continue to praise. And in that three element is prosperity, abundance, and it is that on steroids.
I like that. So a friend of mine taught me something years and years ago that I know that I had shared with you, and I do daily. And that's at 12:34, an alarm goes off for
Mm-hmm.
me, and it pops up the question, "What are you grateful for?"
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as the alarm goes off, I look at my phone and I see in my mind, even though it's 12:34, I see in my mind 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then the question that's on that alarm is, what are you grateful for?
Mm-hmm.
So at 12:34, it pops up. I look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4. What am I grateful for? And then I get to allow myself the opportunity to sit in a space of gratitude for just those few minutes, and it regrounds me. It's a phenomenal tool.
Absolutely. And I challenge people to bless some of the things that you're grateful for and to praise some of the things that you're grateful for so that you can bring it all into a complete wholeness.
I love that. I love that. So what's the best advice that you can give someone who hasn't achieved the success that they're pursuing yet?
Hmm. Clean the inside out before you work on the outside, because if you're not well, you can't sell, right? Make sure that, you are congruent. Make sure that you are authentic. Make sure that you are transparent. Make sure that your faith matches your faith, right? Matches what you really, truly believe. Make sure that the rules that you're living by matches the rules you're living by. Make sure that everything that you are doing is something of your own creation and not a borrowed intelligence from somebody else's, because that's when your true potential is when you say, here is my recipe for success. And I know I need this, I know I need this, I know I need this, and I know I need this, and I'm going to make this beautiful masterpiece with these ingredients, because these are the ingredients that I know that I need. And keeping on your lane, knowing that you can grab others to help you, right? But keeping on your lane. And when you keep moving on your own lane, moving up that ladder, and allowing yourself to be open and transparent and vulnerable to growth, and be uncomfortable being comfortable, or being comfortable being uncomfortable, right? That's where you want to start, and allow that progression to happen, and allow yourself to keep learning in that light. And when you keep light in your heart and in your mind and in your body and in your spirit, and you have that foundation of loving yourself, you're going to grow.
So you say
potential.
I love that. So you say clean the inside out. So are you talking cleansing, nutritionally, spiritually? What do you talk? Because I know that you are a holistic health practitioner among a multitude of other credentials and certifications. So I know that you're a holistic nutritionist. I also know that you're a spiritual counsel. I also know that you're a minister. I know that you have a degree in psychology. I know that you have a Ph.D. in holistic life coaching. So what do you mean by clean the inside out?
So absolutely. On the whole gamut, when somebody comes to see me, obviously I am a personal and spiritual, life coach. And so I work on, making sure that their body is solidly ready to sustain their goals. So on a nutritional level, are what they're eating, is that congruent to them? Are they having the fuel that is just perfect for them? Do they need to be on a cleanse? Do they have toxicities in their body? And then on a mind and spirit level, there are also cleansing that can happen, and getting to the point where some people don't know if they're congruent. They don't know if they're transparent. They don't even know, what they believe. They didn't even know that they had a choice, that they could believe in something that they weren't, that they were told that they couldn't believe. And then there's stages of that growth and death and dying to what you thought you were and thought you believed. There's this whole gamut of transformation happening, in my coaching. So all of this transformation is a type of healing, a type of cleansing, whether it's metaphorically or physically, mentally, spiritually. There's cleansing on all different realms.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I see a lot out there is that the entrepreneur, business owner, sales professional, they're constantly seeking balance. Work-life balance. I hear it all the time.
Right.
What do you think of that as far as the pursuit to success?
Well, balance is a funny word, because, if you actually try to ever balance anything, it's almost impossible to balance anything. There's so much preciseness in that. And so instead of balancing, I like to look at the word harmony. I like to look at being able to just flow. If you take a pendulum and you have the pendulum, moving back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, there's no balance. There's no weight on one side or the other. It's a flow that's happening. And in that flow is ebb. There's an ebb and flow of everything. There's a yin and yang of everything. And when you learn how to play music with everything that life is given you, then that's where the real balance, if you will, so to speak, happens. That's when you have the strength that you need to conquer everything that comes your way. And it's learning to be flexible and have that harmony in your life.
Mm-hmm. How does spirituality play in one's journey towards success?
It's important, that word spirituality. It's almost like, people think that spirituality is the same as religious, and it has nothing to do with one or the other. Your spiritual journey is just that of mind, body, and spirit. It's a lifestyle. It's a journey that you get to take, and it's an endless journey, because from the time that you were birthed and from the time you die in this lifetime, you're always going to be on a spiritual journey, and that is bringing out your purest potential, your God-given right to ignite what you want in your life, to ignite the desires that you want, to ignite the goals that you're trying to accomplish, to ignite that happiness that you deserve. And that it is a journey, and it is like peeling an onion. When you feel like you've gotten to that point of happiness and say, oh my God, this is amazing, I feel so enlightened. Guess what? There's more. And when you get to that point, guess what? There's more, and it's never ending. And your purest potential is always unfolding. And that is what I mean by spirituality. It's grabbing all of those attributes: love, hope, faith, connectedness, divine energy. Those are all those sources, and utilizing everything that is already yours, innate within you, to be the best that you are.
So if someone is devoutly religious, does spirituality and religion conflict with them, or does one support the other?
One supports the other. And this is the thing: if you are congruent with the religious beliefs that you believe in, then this is all good. Then you can work on your mind, body, and spirit, and with your religious aspects, and have them grow together and be this amazing, harmonic person that you are. There's no judgment in what you believe and where you're at in your heart, because that's who you are. But you want to make sure that you're transparent in that. And you want to make sure that if you've got a religious belief, that you've got the spirituality that along with it, so that when there's love in your religious belief, and there's non-judgment. And then in that, you can grow with your fullest potential in your belief.
That's absolutely phenomenal. So we've entered my favorite part of the episode, and this is what I love to call the random round, because I have a belief that success leaves clues. And if my guests can share with my listeners something random, and I'll ask a question so that you can share your random thoughts. If my guests can share with the listeners something that the listeners can extract from it and then implement for them what feels right, what works right, what sounds right, what looks right, and what they think is right for their life. So, you ready?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm a little nervous.
So I'm definitely asking you one. I may ask you two.
Okay.
So, how do you decompress? How do you recharge? Because I know that you're busy. I mean, you run a multi-million-dollar corporation. You're constantly harmonizing work and life and family. So how do you decompress? How do you recharge?
So I have several ways that I do, and I'll just name a few of them. It depends on my mood. And so I go from decompressing to going out and praising my plants in my backyard, to going out and swinging on my swing, to meditating, to flipping through a magazine, just to get quiet, maybe to take a bath, to take a walk around the block with my significant other. There's so many things that I can do that decompresses, and it really just depends on my mood. I have a whole plethora of things because, in today's society, I want variety. And so I have a number of 1 to 50 to 100 things that I can do to decompress. I don't limit it because I like to be, flexible in what I do. But prayer, meditation, I love being out in nature. That's one of the biggest ways for me to decompress.
What is it about nature that helps you decompress?
Being grounded in Mother Earth, being grounded in Mother Gaia, knowing that without having the just a right amount of oxygen and the air that she provides for me, I'm alive because of Mother Gaia. And so being out in nature, being out in my backyard, or whether it's the mountains or whether it's the beach, all of those things remind me of how magnificent Mother Nature is and how divine source is. And if I can see that beauty out there, then I can see the beauty inside me. So it's also de-stressing, but it's also regenerating, my fuel. So it's kind of like a twofold.
I absolutely love that. Okay, so second question.
Uh-oh.
Second question. What is your favorite word and why?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so my favorite word and why. I get a kick. I was born and raised in Arkansas, and we have our own language sometimes. We have our own language, and when I talk fast, the word interpretation, I always say interpretate. And so I have fun on that. And I say it all of the time. And sometimes people don't even realize I'm saying it wrong. And when they do, it just makes me have laughter in my heart. I know it's not the way to say it, but because of the way I was brought up and saying it so fast, I have a habit of saying interpretate. And so that's my favorite word.
Hey,
you can
I love
interpret that as you may.
I love it. MaryLou, it's been really awesome to talk with you today and to share the enlightenment aspect of entrepreneurism and the journey to success. I appreciate you coming on today's show. If our listeners would like to get a hold of you, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
They can always connect with me, email, MaryLou at pivotpointadvantage.com. They can connect with me there. I have my Facebook. If they go on to MaryLou Hunter, Ph.D., that is my business page on Facebook. I've got several groups they can connect with. I've got an online Soulful Freedom Sanctuary where I give inspirational messages, once a week. So those are places that they can.
What's the sanctuary that they can connect with you? It's
called Soulful. If they're interested in being a part of the sanctuary, it's kind of just like an online spiritual center. We're growing in that, and it's called Soulful Freedom Sanctuary. Soulful, SOULFUL, Freedom Sanctuary.
Fantastic.
And you can connect. You can connect through my business page as well, because the group is right there.
Fantastic. I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with me. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you for having me, and I appreciate it.
Your success is important to me, and it's also important to me to make sure that these episodes are valuable to you. I would love for you to do a few things right now. I'd love for you to hop over to Instagram and follow us at Pivot Point Advantage. That's hop over to Instagram and follow us at Pivot Point Advantage. Second, I'd love it if you'd head over to Facebook and join our Sell Without Selling community. That's head over to Facebook and join our Sell Without Selling community. We have an immense amount of interaction on both platforms. We also share different information on both platforms, so we look forward to seeing you there. Last and definitely not least, I love to chat with you, give feedback on the episodes, and find out any topics that you're interested in to help make this podcast more powerful and helpful to you achieving the success you've always dreamed of, desired, and deserved. Head over to pivotpointadvantage.com/talk to Stacy. That's pivotpointadvantage.com/talk to Stacy. Let's get a 15-minute call on the schedule. I look forward to getting to know you. Always remember this: choice is a powerful thing, and suffering is always optional. Get out of your way so that you can get on your way, so you can finally have your way. Thanks so much for listening, and I look forward to talking with you soon.
Whether it's mastering your mindset, communication, or success, we have more ways to keep you on your journey to greatness. Be sure to visit us at pivotpointadvantage.com for exclusive online training programs, success-specific courses, and more ways to connect to Stacy directly to help you achieve the financial success you've always desired, dreamed, and deserved. That's all available on pivotpointadvantage.com.